Hi, good morning. Today we are going to discuss some problems in the session 8.1, the inner product. Okay, the first problem is let V be a vector space and this be an inner product on V. Show that inner product of 0 and beta equal to 0 for all beta in V. Also show that if inner product of alpha and beta equal to 0 for all beta in V, then alpha must be equal to 0. Proof is very easy. First, you consider inner product of 0 and beta. This is 0 is a vector and this you can write as 0 into 0. That is, you can write any vector. We know that in vector space, you have already proved 0 into 0 into alpha equal to 0. Okay. Therefore, this 0 is a scalar. 0 into 0. This 0 is our vector 0 is again equal to 0. This 0 is a vector. Okay. C alpha must be a vector in V. Okay. So, 0 into 0 is equal to 0. So, this 0 we replace by 0 into 0. Then use the property of inner product. C inner product of C alpha and beta equal to C into inner product of alpha and beta. So, 0 into this one which is equal to 0. Now, what about inner product of alpha and 0? Inner product of alpha and 0 equal to alpha 0 0 and this is 0 0 inner product of 0 into 0 alpha and alpha conjugate that's equal to this one which is equal to this one. Or you can directly write this from here as this is a 0 conjugate that's equal to 0. Okay. Now move to last problem. Inner product of alpha and beta equal to 0 for every beta belongs to V implies alpha equal to 0. Okay. So we have this condition and this is true for every beta belongs to V. Our alpha is again an element in V. Therefore, this result is true for alpha also. So, if you apply, if you use alpha for beta, then what we get? Inner product of alpha and alpha equal to 0. But by the definition of inner product of alpha and alpha must be greater than 0 if alpha not equal to 0. But here we get inner product of alpha and alpha equal to 0. That means alpha must be equal to 0. If alpha not equal to 0, this inner product must be greater than 0, then that leads to contradiction. Therefore, inner product of alpha and alpha equal to 0 implies alpha must be equal to 0. So moving to the next problem, this be an standard inner product on R2. Let alpha equal to this one, beta equal to this one, and gamma is equal to gamma be such that inner product of alpha and gamma equal to -1 and inner product of beta and gamma equal to 3. You have to find gamma. Also, you have to prove this one. Okay. If alpha is equal to this one and beta is equal to y1 y2, alpha equal to x1 x2, beta equal to y1 y2, what about standard inner product on R2? This is coordinate wise multiplication x1 y1 plus x2 y2. This is the standard inner product and we have given this and if I here alpha equal to 1 2, beta equal to -1 1 and gamma here gamma we have to find gamma. So we suppose gamma is equal to z1 z2. So what is inner product of alpha and gamma? Given this inner product of alpha and gamma equal to -1. So alpha is 1 to gamma is alpha is 1 to gamma is z1 z2. Okay. So what is the inner product? 1 into z1 plus 2 into z2. So 1 into z1 plus 2 into z2 equal to -1. z1 plus z2 2z2 equal to -1. Similarly, inner product of beta and gamma equal to 3. That means -1. Beta is -1, 1. Therefore, -1 into z1 plus z2 equal to 3 minus z1 plus z2 equal to 3. Mark this as equation 1 and equation 2. Adding equation 1 and 2. Here z1, here z1, here minus z1. So, cancel. 2z1, 2 plus z2 equal to 3z2 equal to -1 plus 3. That means 2. Z2 equal to 2 by 3. Now substituting this, we get Z1 is equal to minus 7 by 3. From this, gamma equal to, gamma is Z1 Z2 minus 7 by 3, 2 by 3. Okay. Now last problem. We have to write alpha in terms of inner product alpha and E1 and inner product of alpha and E2. What is alpha? What is E1? E1 is 1 0, E2 is 0 1. What is inner product of alpha and E1? Suppose alpha is equal to x1 x2. Inner product of alpha and E1 is equal to 1 into x1 plus 0 into x2 because E1 is 1 0 E1. So this is equal to x1. Inner product of alpha and E2 is equal to this one because E2 equal to 0 1. So if you multiply x1 into 0 plus x2 into 1. So what is inner product of alpha into E1 into E1? Inner product of alpha into E1 is x1 into E1. Therefore, this is x1 0. Inner product of alpha into E2 into E2 equal to x2 into 0 1 equal to 0 x2. And if we add this one, we get x1 0 plus x 0 x2 equal to alpha. Therefore, alpha, we get alpha, any vector alpha in R2 you can write as inner product of alpha and E1 into E1 plus inner product of alpha and E2 into E2. Now we are going to prove one remark. If V is any is a complex vector space with inner product, then inner product of alpha and beta equal to real part of inner product of alpha and beta plus I into real part of inner product of alpha and I beta. Okay. So what is actually inner product of alpha and beta? This is real part of inner product of alpha and beta plus I into imaginary part of inner product of alpha and beta. So just look at this. If z is equal to x plus iy, what is x? X is real part of z and what is y? Imaginary part of z. Okay. So this z you can write as real part of z plus I into imaginary part of z. Now what is iz? Iz is same as z is x plus iy. Z is x plus iy. Iz means I into x plus I into iy, that is I square y. Okay, so ix plus I square y. Iz is equal to ix, I square is minus 1 minus y. So minus iz is equal to, putting minus sign we get y minus. So what is the real part of minus iz? Real part of minus iz is equal to y and which is equal to imaginary part of z. So imaginary part of z is same as real part of minus iz. Real part of minus iz. So we are using this result here. Imaginary part of inner product of alpha and beta is equal to real part of minus I inner product of alpha and beta. Okay. So this is same as I into real part of this you can write as I minus I is same as I conjugate inner product of alpha and beta. Here actually inner product of alpha and beta. So this is same as inner product of alpha and I beta, I into. Therefore, inner product of alpha and beta is same as real part of inner product of alpha and beta plus I into real part of inner product of alpha and I beta. Okay. Now, some definition. Actually, not a definition, just a notation. Okay. So an inner product on a vector space or on a real or complex vector space is determined by another function called quadratic form. Okay, determined by the inner product. Now, what is quadratic form determined by the inner product? So for defining this, first we denote the positive square root of inner product of alpha and alpha by norm of alpha. Okay, and this notation is called norm of alpha with respect to the inner product. We will discuss more about a norm of alpha in our functional analysis. Anyway, here also we will discuss some properties of norm in the next section. So what is norm of alpha? Norm of alpha is the positive square root of inner product of alpha and alpha. Okay, so here norm of alpha is positive square root of inner product of alpha, and that is norm of alpha square equal to inner product of alpha and alpha. Okay, now the quadratic form determined by the inner product is the function that assigns to each vector alpha a scalar norm of alpha square. So quadratic form, here quadratic form is, that is a function that assigns to each alpha a scalar norm of alpha square. Okay, that's all for today's class. In the next class, we will discuss about polarization identity. Okay.